Queridos amigos, ¿cómo están? Estamos transmitiendo este programa de DENtalks en Instagram desde un lugar muy lejano, pero también muy cercano a la familia. Estamos en Italia, con el grupo y el equipo de StyleItaliano. Tengo el honor de estar con ustedes junto a uno de los fundadores de StyleItaliano, el doctor Walter Devoto, y a Daniele Rondoni, gran ceramista y parte del equipo StyleItaliano desde hace muchos años. Walter, when you look back, did you ever imagine that what started as a small group of colleagues would become such a global movement?
Oh, really not. I mean, since we started 15 years ago, the idea was to have just a little game for kids on board, just to enjoy, to share, and to have fun, and maybe to have the curiosity to know many people around the world. And then it became viral, and really is astonishing understanding that now we have more than 400,000 dentists all over the world, which means one dentist or four, they know about this movement of StyleItaliano. So that's really amazing.
Daniel, your story is different.
Yes.
In what moment you start or you introduce in StyleItaliano together with Walter and Angelo?
I work with Walter, know Walter from many years ago, and so I cooperate with him, and so I can admire his project because just for the first day that he tried to create this project of StyleItaliano. And so as a dental technician, it was for me interesting to cooperate with him because this kind of work can involve also the technician aspect, most of all today, for example. Consider the Stilodo, for example, inspiring a lot us to cooperate with the dentist, considering that also StyleItaliano consider important evolution. And in fact, now we have the interesting project considering the advantages using the digital workflow. It is very interesting to analyze the combination, the philosophy of StyleItaliano in combination with the new technology, and how can adapt the ideal adaptation of the material for the new generation dentistry, because it's very interesting. It involves a lot, influence a lot the new generation of dentists.
Regarding to the new generation, what criteria do you use when deciding if a new technique is worth teaching to the community?
Oh, that's interesting because since we started, we are really thinking to the people that are on the bottom in the Congress, in the hall, on the floor, and they are not in the first row. Maybe they are shy, maybe they want to learn, but they are far really from the light of the podium. So thinking to them, we started in fixing some details in feasible, teachable, and repeatable way. So today that comes like our motto, and today all techniques that we are trying to fix in teaching, in learning, and also in diffusing, they are based on these three terms. If they don't respond to the three of them, in my opinion, they are useless, especially for the young generation, because the young generation, many of them, they cooperate with other dentists, and they must have a chance to be successful with simple but very effective techniques.
And regarding to the materials, what is your criteria?
To be honest, the first criteria is to know in deep each kind of material that now the new company proposed for us, because in the past there was just a few material for the solution. Today we have available many material. And so the first, to know the quality, property, most of all regarding the optical and mechanical, and then as a dental technician, it's very important to have the chance to describe perfectly this property in order to the dentist can select correctly which is the best for each patient, because each kind of material is dedicated for the dedicated patient. And for example, interesting for me, considering this, I suggest also to my colleague to follow StyleItaliano, because StyleItaliano pay attention regarding the innovation of the material, and most of all to continue to maintain this philosophy, technical philosophy. This is very interesting. The technique as a base to use in correct way the material. And also for me as a dental technician, it's interesting to consider to have a technique, and most of all to be feasible, because this is a very important criteria to have an ideal material to create a feasible option for our patient.
new materials is arriving, new generation is arriving, new protocols is arriving, and many dentists around the world says, StyleItaliano changed my life, changed my dentist's life. And could you share a clinical case that had a deep impact on you?
Just one clinical case
Yeah, only
of
one.
my one.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Difficult question.
No, it's a difficult question, but really, really nice one. I remember a friend of my second daughter. You know that I have two daughters. One is a dentist, the other one is psychologist. And one, I remember that I was visiting the friend of my little daughter, that she had a very black tooth in front. And me, I was saying to my daughter, listen, ask her to come to proceed, because then we go for that. And she was asking to me, but Papi, are you gonna charging her? And of course it was not my intention, but my intention was to solve, because she was very young. And that cases, I remember very well, because somebody wanted to extract an incisors, that instead it was just a perforation that we decided then to save. And of course I need the help of Daniele, because at that moment we decided to make these teeth much more bulky in order to make much more resistance. So we started in thinking that project and design lead all the clinical part. In that way, we decided to make some change in the perio and so on. And then the final outcome, and in the point of prepping, it was really just as a side, a technical step-by-step without any huge impact in all the idea. So just in a nutshell, we see that modern dentistry, it is just planning. All the detail in making the things and skill, they come later and they are a collateral of our job. But if we plan correctly with the help of somebody at the side like a smart technicians, I do believe that we can speed up our operation and solve cases like that one of my daughter, that she was at the end really incredible happy, because I didn't extract a central to somebody that at that moment she was 16, so can you imagine? And still the teeth they are in that mouth, so we all are happy about that, and we are happy that we also learn from these cases how to proceed in a way which is teachable, repeatable, and absolutely correct for our patients.
And Daniel, every week you receive cases from Walter.
Yes.
What is the most difficult case, for example, in the last year?
Last year, all cases are very difficult.
Difficult cases, right?
Yes, there is, but to be honest, there is normally I remember some cases, but because most of all the retreatment cases, because consider his approach always is a conservative approach. Retreatment and conservative approach. What meaning that we have a different condition to create a natural condition for the patient. For example, I remember a case that often we mention and we show where there is a condition where, for example, masking, single crown, laminates, a different thickness, different option. So the philosophy, teachable, the meaning is repeatable, is a technique. And so to have found a technique. And so we meaning regarding that technique ideal to solve, for example, different condition, and most of all planning. The planning, and I thank Walter because he involved in all cases, because he considered the project fundamental for his solution. And so, for example, the case he have a problem on the masking, problem on the different situation, a different position on the teeth. And so we solve it easily because it was enough to analyze before each kind of problem and to plan it correctly. And it's very interesting. I love this possibility because Walter have a special detail request, but it's very interesting how he can follow the project, because when the project is logical and most of all is feasible, represent a good solution, and to combine with the ideal material. So, for example, in this case we combine different materials, zirconia, the silicate, different thickness, masking, to solve an ideal aesthetic, and I'm very happy when he showed these cases. I remember for 3 laminates and 1 crown, for example, 1 central crown in the comparison with the natural teeth, central. Different thickness, masking for the abutment, so many difficulty. And so it's very interesting because, by the way, the base of the success, it was this kind of synergy, base of the logical point, planning, but most of all, interesting communication, because in the end, StyleItaliano for me, the first meaning is to create a very interesting communication to the new generation dentists. For this reason, very interested this influence, because surely he preparing for his future. Consider they continue to change the kind of the material, kind of the situation. I'm very happy for StyleItaliano. Congratulations, but
in this road, in these terms, StyleItaliano created an OptiShade, for example. No, in this road, in this sense, for the communication, OptiShade is very good for the lab, for the communication between the doctor with the lab in these difficult cases.
Yes, of course. By the way, I already say difficult case, for example, when you have the substrate with a dark color, and then we need to create a very white color, so different condition. Surely, our possibility in the past was a simple shade guide, standard shade guide, universal, but not optimized shade guide. With the shade guide, OptiShade work easily because we work common technology with iPhone, for example, but most of all, have a precise data that the dentist can give to the technician in order to manage in different way, as a standard shade guide, or maybe with a special software, maybe create an ideal recipe. So this interesting communication, I think at this point, it is a very interesting update, most of all because not only for the soft case, but also to increase the knowledge of the color. Because through the OptiShade, we can analyze in deep which is the meaning of the color. And so maybe also, for example, for me, that I have a lab, I have the collaborator, this kind of tool help me because help to grow up the knowledge of my collaborator, almost at my same level. This is very important.
And OptiShade for the clinicians. No, the lab is one part of the world, but for the clinicians,
it's my opinion that about color, we are really in the past and in the back as a dentist. Today we use digital tools everywhere. We invest a lot for digitalization for our office, and still for catching the color, we use a piece of plastic, we go closer to the window, and seriously, we try to see if it fits on the patient's mouth. This is really comic. So, clinically speaking, this device, it is a quality control. And since I'm using, I see that my nurses, they are much more easy to use themselves and then to communicate with the lab immediately. So this double check avoid me and him to make a lot of kilometers, first of all, because he lives 200 kilometers far away from my clinic, and for cases in anterior, I used to call him and then to collect the patients, and this create, of course, issues in the office. But nowadays, it never come to me anymore, and in that communication, we see that it's a digital point. It's a digital point that really, it's a real simplification for any job. And me, I cannot anymore to work without that. Not because of the way to be precise in the lights, but as in the lab, he's able with that to train his people that are working with him. Me, I'm able to give this choice to my nurse. And me, I'm not anymore involved in this part. And this is my opinion, it is the way to go for the future. Not us to be involved, but having all the team understanding that digitalization is a way to simplify, not to make complications.
Standardize, optimizing, simplify.
Absolutely.
Yeah, some they words we are using daily. What is your recommendation for the dentist regarding to the protocols or regarding to the treatments? Standardize the treatments, standardize the protocols, or customize for each patient different treatment?
You know me, 100% to standardized. I mean, the word that sometimes still I listen from podium, let's go for individual treatment plan because it's important. In my opinion, it doesn't work much. I mean, I'm very good when I copy and paste all my treatments. And when instead I need to go out from the protocol, I'm lost. Many dentists still they are in the old time in which they were going to make their own tips and tricks for this, for that, for whatever. Those things, in my opinion, they are not teaching well. They are not possible to easy check if we are good or not. And they comes to be confused and wasting time and having a patient that maybe he lost the trust in what we do.
Make it simple.
Absolutely. I mean, but just to say make it simple, it is not enough. Because today everybody they want to simplify. When we started speaking, me and Angelo, about simplification, everybody they're watching us like some stupid because everybody instead they were in complication. Then when they saw that works, everybody they come to say, oh, you need to simplify, but they are still complex. So the real simplification takes time. As Giorgio Armani that passed away recently, he was saying that the simplification, it's a point of arrival, not a point of starting. It's a point of arrival that comes from your knowledge and your wisdom. And I do believe that this is what we can instead give to the new generation because they don't have yet, they are not arrived yet, and they don't have the wisdom that instead we can teach them.
Amazing. Today, StyleItaliano is more than a concept. It's a family of thousands of dentists worldwide. What does that mean to you personally?
It's really a family. This is the point, my friend. And the fact that you are here, that we spend time together, not just speaking about teeth, but also living together, make me very, very happy. That's why we founded this idea of having partners around the world, but having people be part of our family. We do believe that in this way we can make something very, very nice for our patient. Imagine, you are a member of our family and you place in your waiting room a Q code in which you invite your patients to go in, and then the patients, they see 1,000 nice cases coming from our website. And then in that way, they do believe also that you are a good dentist. So they give value to you as well. And this is what we want, to give value to each one of our members in the family.
What is the next step? The next step in the future of the dental materials?
Next step, it will be to continue to have a material that can solve our dream, to respect also the property of the natural teeth. To be honest, we are reached very close to have some requests. Today we have a material aesthetic, have in combination with a very interesting property. And most of all, now we reach the possibility to use the industry material, because can come a digital workflow offer us to use or printed or
3D printing.
Or 3D printing to use the material. I think exactly in the future it will be the printed material. It will be the future. Not only for the organic material, but also in organic material like zirconia, for example, in the future. Surely now we need to have that through the 3D printed can cover the optical property and strength that we reach just only milled. But I think in the future it will be continue to push the company toward the printed. Why? Because the management probably is more easy, but most of all because we can explore another aspect, the aspect of the precision and most of all the thickness. Because if this material reach ideal quality that we have also with the milling, I think we have almost perfect material for our patients.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. StyleItaliano is a real family. StyleItaliano family. I feel very proud to be a part of the family, but
not only you're an active member,
active member, but
so this is different, no?
Yeah.
As an active member, you have some privilege because you show us your activities, and of course we involved you in our plans. As a family member, you have the chance to exploit what we offer to on our website and to show that to your patients, for them to understand that you are following the biggest educational family in the world, and also you can learn from them.
The attendees, the colleagues, what do the colleagues need to become a member of the StyleItaliano family?
Oh, just they can browse
Send an invitation.
StyleItaliano family, and then you can find the Q code, and then you just follow, and then you just put your email, and you will receive the invitation to be with us. So this is such very simple. So I do invite all of you to come and to be member.
And this. Ahí también.
Of course.
Well, Walter, if you could leave only one message for all dentists watching us today, what would it be?
Respect your patients.
Yes.
That's important because they will remember this. And if you respect, they will come to you and you will continue to enjoy. And this is, my opinion, is the most important point to take in mind.
Your recommendation for the colleagues, our colleagues, when they send his scan models, his STL files, or analogic models, or analogic impressions?
No, sure. The first, respect your dentist. In order to influence the synergy and cooperation, because this is fundamental to have the lovely communication. This is very important. And I hope that all technicians continue to, in the future, receive the digital impression, because the future, sure, it will be to exploit correctly, which is the data we can receive from the dentist digitally. Mm-hmm. Because, for example, to be honest, I started using digital many years ago. And to be honest, if you think it digital, you need to think it digitally. Mm-hmm. This is a very important matter. No think the analogical step continue to be an important support. Mm-hmm. It's not in competition, but it's necessary to have the analogical part to have the perfect accuracy of detail. But the strategy of the digital workflow offer super important advantages like communication, immediately exchanging of the information, and most of all, to have an easy project, and I already say many times, to have the possibility to use the material industry, and so industry quality, and so this part guarantee the high level quality for our patient and our solution.
Daniel, Walter, thank you for accepting my invitation, and thank you so much for sharing your vision, your experience, and your passion with us today. To our colleagues watching, StyleItaliano is not just about techniques or protocols. It's about belonging to a family that shares knowledge and grows together. It's important, right?
Absolutely, absolutamente sí.
Yeah. Yo estoy muy orgulloso y muy agradecido, ahora en español, de estar aquí en una capacitación también con los grandes de la odontología mundial, y siempre con la humildad de seguir aprendiendo, de seguir escuchando y de seguir avanzando, siempre en busca de darle el mayor beneficio a nuestros pacientes. Y bueno, es un orgullo para mí ser active member del grupo StyleItaliano y ser parte también de esta familia, porque sí es una familia de verdad. Si algún día logras encontrarte con alguno de nosotros, verás que es una química real, hay una amistad real, hay una entrega real, y hay que ser verdaderamente generosos. Generosos no solamente con el prójimo, sino ser generosos con el conocimiento. Hay que saber compartir y dar el conocimiento y llevarlo por todos lados. Muchas gracias. Últimas palabras.
Gracias a todos los amigos mexicanos.
Y a toda Latinoamérica.
A toda Latinoamérica también.
Muchas gracias a todos amigos.
Chao, chao.
Chao, chao.
Esto fue DENtalks Live, un espacio en el que líderes de opinión de diferentes partes del mundo tienen espacio libre y sin censura para hablar de temas de interés de la odontología. Nos vemos pronto en DENtalks Live.
Chao.
Chao.